hereby begin the October 10 Water and Sewer District meeting on at 5:30.
And
start with the meeting minutes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as mailed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You seconded them.
Yes, second, right.
Yeah, we don't have our second.
No public comment, manifest and payroll.
I make a motion we accept the manifest and payroll as presented.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We don't have to sign minutes. We don't have to sign.
Yeah, good there.
I'll take those away if you want.
Here, I'll start.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous day today.
Wasn't it gorgeous?
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah.
really was. And tomorrow and the next days are going
I
to be
know.
50-ish, 58-ish.
Yeah, but still, it's supposed to be, you know, it's still beautiful.
Mild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomatoes aren't freezing yet, Judy.
I forgot the basil.
Oh, that's okay.
I have so much. I will bring.
Okay, so on to new business.
All right.
Safety manual review.
Yeah, one thing is just that Commissioner DeLeo has been through the safety manual.
Yes.
I brought this in just to, you know, to have it here in case, to remind us, and also to
That's
see.
with
It's revised, so if you would like to take a paper copy.
yeah, that's actually better because when I
That's-
discovered that the electronic one was in about 20 different files.
Oh, it's in more than 20
Oh,
different
yeah.
files. That's
Yeah.
why I didn't want the
Yeah,
electronic copy
yeah.
either.
Good,
So I think this will be easier actually to
Good.
just slap some Post-it notes on.
good. So we'll just keep that on the agenda till you're ready to
Right.
act on it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, in the vacation carryover
Yes.
policy, you remember a couple months ago, we talked about this when one individual was having a life event.
Right.
And so I said I would draft a policy, and I'm back with that, if I can find it. Unless I hid it on myself. Essentially, what I drafted was this. Right now, staff members may not carry any vacation over unless they specifically come to the board for, you know, sort of an extraordinary permission. And at the suggestion of this staff member, I thought maybe it would be, well, to allow staff to carry over just 10, no more. They could keep 10 on the books, they can use them, or they could get paid for them when they terminate. But they can't keep accumulating.
That's what I was
Yes.
just
No.
gonna ask
No,
you.
not 10 a year, 10.
10 in
So
total.
if I were working and I wanted to carry 10 days and I had 10 days in 2018, that means I have 20 days in 2018. If I don't use those 28, I can only carry 10 more over the following year.
Correct.
I couldn't carry all 20 if I decided not to take a vacation day.
That is correct. And I think that most of our staff, you know, it's been a use 'em or lose 'em proposition, so we're in the third quarter, probably people only have a few days. It may take them several years to get to the point where they have 10
To carry over.
carried over.
Yep.
You know, they could carry over 2 or 4 or whatever,
Right.
whatever they might have. But then we'd stop. So we'd have a liability always, but it wouldn't be extraordinary and it wouldn't continue to grow. I mean, we only have 10 staff members that could do this, and I think we figured out it might be a liability of $2,000.
Okay.
You know, so it's not,
Even if everybody carried over 10
wait a
days.
minute, no, not 2,000.
That doesn't make sense.
No, yeah, I think it's 20,000.
That makes more sense.
It's 2 weeks payroll.
Right.
Just like whatever you just signed.
Yep.
What's it worth? And, yeah, well, no, it's up to 29. That's with the employer share.
Right.
I mean, which would be that way. So that, it would be a finite, it wouldn't continue to grow and be an ever-ending
10
liability.
is quite generous. Most companies, it's 3 to 5.
Well, actually, if I want to nitpick the language here, employees may carry balances up to 10 days maximum to be used in a following year. Oh, a following year.
A
not
following
the
year,
following
or
year.
be paid.
Right. So in other words, they can carry some of them. They can build that 10 over.
If Christmas comes and I've got 10 days and I I say, I'm not gonna use these, I wanna carry them over, they can sit there for 3 years, and I can use them then, if I wanna go to Europe for the summer.
No, I think that's clear. It is,
Okay.
it is clear. A lot hangs on that, the letter A, but
Yeah.
that is clear.
Yes, a following year,
Yes,
and I
as
did that,
opposed-
of course, on
right.
purpose, yeah.
Okay. That will need to be explained, like, maybe with an example.
Yeah, and also, we should talk at some point about rollout of this and the new wage schedule to staff.
Maybe do we wait until town
Check.
meeting, district meeting?
No. So-
First of the year? Well, that's what I mean, kind of first of the year.
I would think, yeah.
Because you said nobody's really got any to carry over right now, or?
No, I mean, this policy can go into effect at any point. I'm talking about, I think if you approve it tonight, we should
Okay,
tell staff. But I was thinking about like a nice occasion where the chair might want to tell the staff we've got
well, we're due for a,
2 items of good
we're due
news.
for a luncheon,
Yeah,
so let's plan a luncheon.
okay. Thank you.
One thing leads to another.
I know.
Well, we
Well,
could
we
do it.
do, we try to
it
do
in
one a
the-
quarter,
We could do it
you
in the
know?
form of writing, and maybe nobody would care or mind, but it's sort of these are 2 positives for staff, and the board should come and claim
Yep,
credit for it, or,
You.
be the face of the rollout.
or you.
Oh, I'm happy to do it, except like you
I know, I'm
guys
teasing
are the
you.
government, I'll do it. If you'd like me to do it, I'll be more than happy to, because it's 2 items
Do
of good
we
news.
want Steve's voice on this?
No, I think he'd endorsed it.
From the last time we discussed it? Okay,
Okay.
I'm good with making a
All right.
motion that we
I'll-
accept it as written with an example.
All right. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And we can further discuss rollout.
Yes.
Okay. This next thing is really an item of new business. Jason was approached by
Pine Tree Power.
Pine Tree Power, who need to dispose of their discharge from their cooling tower. And now, according to Jason, this is all liquid. He's got all of the readouts from their lab tests.
Oh, that's what I was just
Yeah.
gonna
No,
ask.
I'm gonna get Judy to come up.
Right,
No,
this is
I wanna know exactly
commercial,
what's in this water.
Yeah, I'm going to show it to you. But anyway, here's the thing. It's, according to Jason, and I'll let you look at the science, this would be about $100,000 a year revenue at his suggested price, which I'll tell you, almost for no processing. Almost, I mean, like too good to be true. There's no,
Where's
There's no-
where's Pine Tree located?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna
Please.
ask that too.
Tamworth.
That's a heck of a distance to
So
haul
are
a
we
bunch
the
of liquid.
closest, or?
Yeah, we must be the closest. I think wherever they're doing it,
Right.
their waste, wherever they're processing it now, somehow can't take it anymore, and they're a little bit desperate to get a contract. And so what Jason,
Well, that's always a bit nerve-wracking from, I mean, assuming everything checks out, then it's fine.
Where did they go before?
I might,
And did Jason check that out?
yeah, it would come over in a hauler truck, same as usual. He's got the laboratory data. He had no contaminants that would violate our our NPDES permit.
No hidden PFOAs,
No.
Right.
Let's see.
Good to
you
know.
know?
What Jason would like the board to consider is, because they're clean as a whistle and because there's no solids to process, almost like just running liquids through the plant,
Stormwater, almost.
almost. And I want to let you look at the science, because I don't know the science. He's asking if the board would consider a sort of a volume discount and give it to them. They actually wanted us to allow them to come in for 2.85 cents, and I would suggest 3 cents, and that would get us, they think they're going to bring in enough gallons
So
that
3 cents a gallon.
that would be $100,000 revenue in a year. And what Jason would like to do is to have them come in for a month and see how things go, and then get into a contract long-term.
Yeah, well, that's-
Okay, that
that's-
makes sense.
Here, let me give you,
Because we want to make sure this doesn't cause us to violate anything volume-wise or
No.
send us up over our maximum.
right, you know that
Oh,
Jason would not,
Yes.
He would not,
I know,
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, these are questions we have to ask as the
Yeah.
scientist and engineer sitting at the table right now.
Right.
they have a zero discharge cooling tower, cycles of concentration. I think they've been doing it themselves,
Doing what themselves.
the processing. This just came up
Right.
like Friday.
Well, presume the name suggests this is a wood.
Yeah, it's a
a
wood
chip-
chip. It is, it's a wood chip plant.
Okay. So.
So, similar to Bridgewater Power, we
Yep.
would think?
Yep.
Right.
Yep, they are.
And where does Bridgewater
Ashland,
Yeah,
goes to?
probably.
Ashland? Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me show you the science.
I'm pretty
he's-
sure.
Yeah.
He printed this and gave it to me, but when he sent me the email from the guy, there's a string of email that probably would tell you where they're discharging now. Either something broke down there, or for some reason they can't continue to process it in that location.
Right.
But
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's just a pH issue. I mean, anything acid
Yeah,
or base just
That's
gets
true. Well, that
neutralized.
would
Right.
take care of that.
Right.
Does Jason know what's in Power Treat 161 or Oxy Out 271?
he asked for them to send all their reports.
The MSDS.
and that-
Yeah,
and
I
that's-
want
and
the
that's- but-
MSDS data sheets. That's what would tell us
Okay.
whether these things are safe or not
Okay.
safe. Just
I mean,
the
all I can
names
tell you
of
is,
the.
I suspect he does, since that was his business prior.
Right.
But you want me to clear it with him that he's looked at the MSDS sheets, or
Yes.
do you want to hold this, or give him a provisional month trial if he's satisfied that the MSDS sheets are clean?
Well, my inclination
It
is.
came up
I mean,
really-
Jason is a pretty deliberate guy,
Yeah,
so I'm
he
just
really is.
I'm not feeling. I have a lot of faith that he has looked at the details here.
Right, and it's his license, it's his name on our. He's not going to jeopardize.
Yeah. Is the blue? The blue is Jason. So I would just sample.
I like the way the guy calls him Randall.
All right. Yes. Right. All right. So I would suggest sampling for a full list of VOCs. Method 8260B. So.
Low level 1,4-dioxane, low level 1,2-DBD. I don't see any PFOA in there.
Well, I mean,
I'm not
we're
sure
burning
that-
wood chips, and
Right.
so it's.
But
pretty
this
basic.
is their cooling tower, though, right?
Right.
It's the cooling
It's another
tower,
one of
the
these.
boiler, and the
Sorry.
side stream
In my
clarifier.
file, yep.
Oh, it's just multiple copies of the Piper.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, yes.
I know. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think,
Yeah, I mean, if
I don't think
Jason
he had
is
no
gonna get
question
all
about-
the testing done
yeah,
and
he had no
everything else,
question about
then.
what was coming in, it was more, can we give them a volume discount?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
And-
I would think
And
that
if
this
that
is.
revenue, that's,
as long as Jason is
that's
comfortable and we
25% more revenue than we get
Yeah,
now.
well, as long as we have the MSDS on,
Okay.
sheets on file for everything that could potentially be in that water.
Okay,
Right. And then,
And-
and then the other key issue, which I'm sure Jason is aware of, is the volume issue.
Volume,
yeah,
Right. So if we were in a period of
high rain,
right, so we're currently dealing with stormwater runoff, an extreme situation,
Mhm.
and then we had to take
their liquid, we might have to put them off a week or something
Okay.
like that, but
That
that
could
could
be
be written in the
part of the
contract.
agreement, yeah,
right. So
Yep.
I guess that's
Yep.
that's a concern.
okay,
And they're talking about being a truckload every day.
yeah,
Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, that's how you at 3 cents a gallon. That's how you accumulate 100.
Yeah,
So we are talking about, therefore,
a lot of money.
yes,
Okay.
a lot of gallons.
Do we need a motion? Or do we,
you can tell me by consensus that providing these things, to have them go ahead with the month and then get back to you for the,
for the
Yeah, I
contract?
think
I
a
think
month.
that's fine.
Right. So we're motioning on this.
As you like,
Yeah.
yes, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that
That we
we,
approve a 30 days?
30-day trial with Pine Tree Power to accept their cooling tower, water, etc. And then upon review, we can look into a contract.
Right. Review of the board's
Yeah.
concerns.
Yeah. Okay.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
How's
you.
that?
Okay. Preliminary budget submittal.
Ready.
I know. Wait, I'm gonna not confuse this. I'm gonna do, this is water. Copy for you, and a copy for you.
Thank you.
And, let me give you the sewer one too.
So this is water.
Yeah, with the blue is water, the green is sewer. Try to keep it in that order. And this is preliminary submittal. There are some numbers yet unknown to us because
Like
we're
the
getting.
CPI.
Yeah, the CPI plus the health and, some of the other things that have an annual rate that we, with the other one's workers' comp.
Yeah, property
Those,
liabilities.
those rates come out like within a few days, the 15th or the 17th, so we colored those numbers so we'd remember. And we actually put in a placeholder of 1.6% for the CPI, just so we could get a rough idea what that number is.
Right.
Um,
Let's see what that does to the.
yeah, and a couple things that we should discuss. We've budgeted for the last couple, at least last 1 year, an assistant for Jason.
Yes.
So that money's been in the budget, we have not spent it. Do we continue to budget for it? That's just a question for now, don't answer it.
Right, right.
Just for board discussion. And the other thing, with our debt service, usually we know that, because it's pretty definite, but there's a little bit of a gray area. We don't know which month we'll finish the septage receiving unit. Right, and now we're in interim financing now, so we'll have an interim financing interest payment. And then at some point, we'll get to significant completion and we'll get into long-term financing with USDARD.
Right.
So I found, Mark Kaprowski wrote back to me just this afternoon and said, if you close on the loan in June, you'll have a payment in December. If you close on the loan in July, you won't have a payment till January. But if we have a payment in December, I need to get it in that budget. So I'm going to try to figure out with, what our chances are with Jason and Mike of getting to substantial completion in time to close in June, and then try to figure out what that interest and principal payment would be without actually knowing. So I'm leaving those.
Right.
So that's my little complication for those.
I mean, I can see that being less than 10,000. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm.
You know what, I'll look at the payments that we make for the force main, because the number's around the same, 1.3 million-ish. And
that might be a good estimate.
No, because we got a $45,000 grant with that one, and we only have 20. So I'll look at other loans and try to figure out, but we'll have to make a principal payment too, if that's the case.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
Like a half
Right.
number.
right.
All right, so there's that, and the other capital items, we're waiting for numbers from Jamie Emery and from Chris Berg. And the numbers look huge because we're looking out into the future, as we talked about. USDARD told us that, sort of a sweet spot magic number is $5 or $6 million, rather than to apply for $1 million and do a project and apply for $1 million. They
recommended doing that
they
big
recommended
lump.
lumping and grouping, and then they won't have us on the hook to have to do them all in the same year, but we'll have an approval.
Right.
And they won't make us stay in interim financing forever per project. At least that's
But we still have to
We
have
still
preliminary
have to-
engineering, and
yes, we'd have
there's
to.
a lot of work to
yeah.
do to get to those point of those numbers.
Right. So, yeah, we have to, we have a whole year of design phase on those
Right.
big things. So those are in there for us to consider as we go along. And I don't know if there's anything more noteworthy than that in the sewer budget. Just the projects are
Right. Just
a little bit different. Yeah. So this is preliminary. I'll keep bringing this every 2 weeks until we get to a point
These are
where,
pretty scary numbers
yeah,
right now.
yeah, I know.
They're always
Yes,
scary.
they are. Yes, they are. But they're all the projects and things that have been in the master plan and things we've talked about.
Right, oh,
and
yeah.
I don't think there are any surprises.
Okay.
So we'll just keep working on it. And Jason's also continuing to fine tune the CPI stuff with the Wright Pierce fellows. Okay. So, not bad.
Yep. So does that cover new business?
For me, it does.
Okay. Old business.
I wanted to let you know that the Holderness School well exploration project is going very well. Jamie and me, we met with Jamie last Wednesday morning, I think, and he's actually proposing to do an additional monitoring well. There was great water coming out of, oh, I know,
Yes.
this is my prompt.
Yes.
I was like, where are my notes about this? There's good water coming out of 8. I told Chris this the
Yeah,
other
we're
day.
going to discuss this.
8 and I think 8 and 9, yes. And Jamie's proposing to put another monitoring well in here. This one's favored, the volume is good, but it's favored because it's not as close to the
Close.
river.
Right.
And as we talked, I wondered, like, if we could pump 300,000 gallons a day, could we pump 600,000 gallons a day if we had 2 wells, or does one drain the other? I didn't know. I just asked this question, and they got thinking, like, yeah, that's like a fabulous idea. Would we want to do that? So he's going to work up. I mean, it can't possibly be twice the cost. What might change is the 8-inch line that's proposed to take this water out might have to be a 12-inch line.
12-inch.
But the construction cost would be the same.
Right, no matter what,
pipe
it's
size.
just the pipe size.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he would like the authority to put in another monitoring well. And he said, DES is going to make us do it anyway.
Right.
So
You
I-
need so many monitoring wells, and you need, so the well 8 and 9,
Yeah.
are those wells he's considering developing as to be the full production wells?
Or 8 and maybe one of the new wells that he tests.
Digs,
Yeah.
depending on
Yeah.
how that pans out compared to 9.
Yeah, actually, this number 4 he liked also.
Well, as long as they don't drain each other dry,
Yeah, no,
you know?
they didn't get,
Oh, the pump test will tell.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pump test will
Right.
definitely tell.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the water quality is, yes, very good. So that's,
The other, this morning Jason met with folks at Holderness School, and they did approve this site for a pump house. So we're kind of marching.
We're moving on.
Moving through. And Jamie Emery from Emery and Garrett was concerned that having to construct a road through the floodplain might be expensive, and for the amount we'll use it seemed it was bothering him. So we talked the other day about, you can't
Open
really
a
go
road.
up. You can't really go up to 175A because it's so steep. But you could cut into the banking here at the bottom of the bank, get out of the floodplain, and build a road
Behind.
here somehow. Yeah.
And it's
They're
just
just
a
cutting-
dirt roughed in road. It's not anything fancy, not paved,
Right.
not
I wonder if
impervious.
it's as steep over in here.
Yeah, I asked them if we could. Is there any way we can get out of there? And
That's
here-
obviously steep there, but I was wondering,
Here's the
it's
answer.
oh, there's your, yeah, all right,
Oh,
so,
yeah, so, yeah, we
Yes.
probably don't wanna,
all right, we need to be going along.
Yeah.
We're not crossing
It's
4
very
contour lines,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's very steep. So, let's see, I know there's more. So he emailed me today, and I think I have it in here, that the new monitoring well would be $7,500 or $8,000 more than he's proposing currently
do we have
for
it?
this phase. Well, yeah, no, that's the question. When we budgeted, okay, let me go back. We budgeted $375,000, but we budgeted it starting in 2015 and 16. right? So, you know, we make him sit on ice until we get our lease. We get the lease now. His numbers are well outdated. And he told me in June, you know, it's probably going to be a little bit more than this phase we budgeted 85,000, and he said it's probably going to be 93. So, okay, because we're going into a 2-year span.
Of no.
Well, I wrote to him today and said, you know, thanks for the information on the monitoring well, but of the 375,000, tell me how much more total we would need if we put in this well, and you know, for his.
Is it going to have to wait until we can budget again for district meeting?
Yes, but that's okay.
Right.
That works time-wise.
Right.
So that's the number I'm waiting for from him.
Okay.
And you know, if we spend that 7,500 or 8,000 now.
How much are we going to have to rebudget to keep this moving forward?
Right, because he's not going to spend the whole 375,000 by town meeting.
Right. Okay.
So we know that.
So that's good. So we've got it, but going to need more eventually.
We're going to need more. That's why you'll see in the water budget, that's a blue line with no number next to it. Way down at the bottom of the second page, source water well development. You know.
Right.
So he travels so much. I asked him if I could call him today. He didn't write back to me, so I assume he's just not available. But I think the first decision is, do we want to give him authority to put in this monitoring well for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I just need a direction on that.
Well,
Yay.
full steam ahead is the direction.
All right, great. Okay. Thank you. And the other news about Holderness School's sewer line, which we've agreed to maintain, I'm just saying this for the folks at home, at Holderness School's expense. The first thing we wanted to do is have that line assessed, and that's going to start, I think, Thursday and Friday this week.
Okay.
And I had another map showing me.
Jason didn't have enough to do.
I know. Well, at least this work is done by, I mean, he has to coordinate with contractors, but, so this blue line coming out, this is where it crosses the highway.
Right.
That blue line is what we've agreed to maintain, and it goes down to in front of the field house.
Right.
Okay.
So this is just an FYI.
So they only
So we're
have to
gonna-
access it at the end, and they run a camera on a very, very, very long line.
Right. And check all the manholes and.
Yep, down each manhole.
Yeah.
The camera both directions.
So that, this work is good. All these things are
Yep.
starting to pop.
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. Great.
And then lastly,
Last but not least, I wanted to let you know that we had some folks visit who had interest in the Eversource agreement that we have with Eversource. And some of them were elected officials, and I reached out to them and made sure they knew everything we knew about what our agreement is. But I drafted a statement, and I didn't know if the board wanted to let you have it. You could post it, I guess, or Chris could read it.
I can put it on the website, I suppose.
yeah, it's on. Well, it's also
It's on our website. It's at Town
It's on the
Hall.
water and sewer.
We sent it to Town Hall.
Yes.
But essentially,
I think you should read it anyway. Or I'll read it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
yeah, good. I mean, that explains it fully.
It's kind of long to read, but.
Yeah.
Plymouth Village Water and Sewer District statement regarding the memorandum of agreement with Eversource. The district wishes to clarify the MOA with Eversource. The district has entered into an MOA with Eversource to protect its ratepayers from costs associated with Northern Pass transmission line planning and engineering, as well as potential costs for future infrastructure maintenance and improvements. The commissioners have not taken any position with respect to Northern Pass. The commission's purpose is specifically to deliver and collect and treat wastewater for district users. The district is a municipal utility with a mission distinct from the town government. Commissioners do respect the purview of the town government to take a position against the proposed transmission line, but remain neutral on this issue as a board. The district plans to replace water and sewer lines from Foster Street along Main Street and South Main all the way down to Warren Street. This project has been in the planning and design stages since 2014. There is no current timeline on the proposed project because the Northern Pass line, if approved, will also travel along that route with the potential for underground conflicts. The district commissioners are concerned about the necessary business disruption that will be created to replace... Sorry?
No.
Oh, displace the... excuse me. The district commissioners are concerned about the necessary business disruption that will be created to replace the 90-year-old water and sewer lines on Main Street and have deferred any work until the outcome of the Northern Pass project is known. This is to avoid having Main Street under construction twice. The Commission is committed to minimizing disruption to Main Street businesses while recognizing that district users will benefit from the local improvement project. The Commissioners have openly discussed this plan with town officials, the Plymouth Select Board and Planning Board, in public several times since 2015. Besides the high risk of this aging infrastructure breaking unexpectedly and costing more money to repair in an emergency situation, fire suppression is also a critical issue due to the undersized lines. The proposed project will address these risks. It became apparent over the last year that the district would incur substantial engineering costs to review the Northern Pass plans, provide information on the district's underground structures, and provide access to manholes for the Northern Pass surveys. The Commissioners believe that it is in the best interest of the district constituents to be well prepared to safeguard the space the district requires underground for its own projects, and to be sure that the district users are not shouldering the added engineering expenses due to Northern Pass. So with all of that in mind, the district approached Eversource to ask if these expenses could be reimbursed, and Eversource agreed. The resulting agreement for reimbursement of expenses is the substance of the memorandum or the memo of agreement between the parties.
Would you like a copy of it then to post? So after I reached back out to the folks that came with Senator Bob Guida, Representative Rand, and I think Selectman Ahern. I think he's Selectman. I reached out to let them know what we had done. I sent them a copy of the agreement, sent them that, and a little background email, and I have not heard anything. I did talk to Bob Guida today, and he is fine. There was some concern that in its application, Northern Pass's plan called for the transmission line to run on top of water and sewer lines, which we knew and which we have given input to the Northern Pass engineers, to DOT, and also to Tom Pappas, who is serving as the attorney for the public on this matter. So will they carry that ball and make sure that the transmission line, if it does get approved, does not run on top of our water and sewer lines? I mean, it's a genuine concern. It's one we had raised months ago.
Right. God forbid something breaks. How do you get through a transmission line that size to get down to the infrastructure underneath?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense.
So. But the status is that no new plan has been issued. So it remains there, but I don't, hopefully that's not the final outcome. There'll be another plan issued, I'm assuming, at some point, and we've got our engineers, making sure.
Yeah, I just heard something recently that they postponed yet again.
Really?
Yeah.
What, the completion or the decision point?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
We had heard verbal decision in February, and then maybe a written one in March.
No, I think it's been postponed yet again. Wow. I can't guarantee that, but I want to say I heard that just within the last week that it's been postponed again. So I could be very wrong. It's just the aging brain.
Any other old business?
Nope, but I have other business.
Okay.
Really quickly.
Oh yeah, other?
Fairgrounds Road is going to be closed starting next Monday, 10/16, for I believe the state to work on.
Right, not for
it has nothing for us. but I just want people to know
It is
if you are
strictly-
coming down Fairgrounds Road from,
So Monday?
from Route 3, it won't,
And what's the duration of that closure?
it doesn't say, it just says road closed
But I-
starting
And
on
I think-
I
10/16.
asked today.
I think I
and
know, though.
Well, it could be weeks or longer.
I think it's
Yeah,
long.
I think it's significant.
Yes.
Yes, but it doesn't say on the sign, it just said, so when on my way here, I was like, oh, we better make that announcement.
Jason told me, and I can't remember, but it's long.
Yeah,
Because I remember thinking.
I don't have to remember to tell my
My two
husband
commissioners are
and
not
my,
going to be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna
have
be
to
a lot
go all
of
the way
people
around.
driving around, yep.
our side of the road is gonna be,
Yeah, you
Very
get all the
closed.
traffic.
Yeah.
they're all gonna be coming that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Purchase recs.
Yep.
This week we have 8 purchase recs on the
Yep.
agenda. As follows: number 1, the PO in the amount of $331,707.50 payable to RM Piper for the water main installation project on Foster Street. Number 2, a PO in the amount of $2,600.15 payable to BMSI for the annual accounting software. Number 3, PO in the amount of $1,163,700 payable to Penta Corporation for the septage receiving unit.
Yep.
Number 4, PO in the amount of $12,000 even payable to Wright Pierce Engineering for the septage unit design phase, and $132,000 even for the construction phase of the same septage unit. Number 5, PO in the amount of $375,000 payable to Emery and Garrett for well development. PO in the amount of $656.57 payable to Hack for maintenance of water analyzing equipment. PO in the amount of $85,000 even to Penta Corporation for the sludge building pipe replacement. And number 8, PO in the amount of $7,500 even payable to GS Bolton for repainting of the 4 scum troughs.
Woohoo.
Motion.
Second that, the consent agenda. Well, no, sorry, I can't second. I have to make a motion that we accept the consent agenda. You have to second
I
it.
can second. Questions?
Nope,
No questions.
I don't have any questions.
All right. All those in favor?
Just ouch.
Yes. All those in favor?
Ouch. Aye.
Aye.
Just a comment that we're happy Penta is doing the sludge building pipe replacement because we had budgeted that money in 2016. Couldn't find anybody to do it for the price, and Penta is in there now doing the,
Yeah, if they're in there, it just makes sense.
yeah, but
That's awesome.
by the end of the year, gentlemen, please.
Right, yeah, before the snow flies, gentlemen,
We're in the
please.
third quarter now, or the fourth quarter, I mean.
I know we are.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next meeting dates?
so the only other thing is,
Meeting dates.
we do meet on the 24th,
Yes.
but do you want to meet on the 7th and 21st, or the 14th and 28th? And, you know, we kind of veer off our second and fourth meeting tradition. The 14th and 28th, we'd miss Thanksgiving week altogether.
Correct. Well, that would be the second and fourth.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it kind of, does it depend on budgeting, or do we have more to discuss if we push those back a week each?
we meet again.
I won't be able to do the 21st.
Oh, there you go. I mean, we could call it the 14th and the 28th, and then if we run into complications, we can have another one, a brief one on the 7th.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't see any
You know, if there are things
conflicts.
that we have to do.
Yes.
We'll get through, in 2 weeks, we'll have the 24th meeting, we'll kind of see where we are then. And if maybe we just have a budget work session on the 7th. something
Yeah,
like that.
actually, right. Okay,
And sign stuff.
Well, the
right.
14th and the 28th are our second and fourth,
Yes.
so.
So I'm gonna put board in for that.
All right. And so 7th, it remains a question
Yeah,
mark now?
so
Okay,
tentative.
all right. All right.
And then everybody can make pies on Tuesday night for Thanksgiving. If you make
Alright.
pies.
Driving to me. Alrighty.
Yeah, but then our 2nd and 4th on December runs into the day after Christmas. We'll adjust. You driving to Maine?
Yeah, I gotta pick up the kid.
So I'm gonna assume 14, 28.
I need that
Oh,
one.
yes, right.
Nope, can't do that. That one's right. I gotta start figuring out how to shorten up my signature.
It's the apostrophe that gets you every time. Gets me.
It's like,
Our apostrophes are
Stop doing that.
Our apostrophes are gonna go away because of
Software.
technology.
alright.
Actually, a lot of software now is starting to accept them
Oh, they are,
where
thank
they
goodness.
weren't accepting them
Right.
You know,
before.
special characters are a tough thing to make. You gotta.
Plus, when you go places and they're looking for your name, I have to say you either use the apostrophe or you don't, and they can't find it one way or the other.
Oh. I know.
Nope, don't put it there.
I'm not.
You can check them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Uh-oh.
How did we get more than 8?
What did we sign extra?
What have we accidentally signed here? 1.
All right, I have GS Bolton.
If there are more than 8, it's just that I didn't put one on the agenda.
Sludge building.
Sludge building replacement
That's the
valves.
85,000.
That's the 85. Go ahead.
Here's the 1.163 mil for,
Okay.
for
Penta.
That's
Penta.
Penta.
This is
Oh, there's one item for 2 purchase orders for Wright Pierce, 12,132.
Oh,
So the
that's why
numbering
there
on the
is
agenda-
actually 7.
Yeah,
I mean, there's actually 9
9,
because they were separate.
right.
One's for the design phase, one's for the...
right. Design phase 12,000.
All right, so we got 12. We've got
they'll all be
2006.
And there's your right, the other right
Yeah.
Pierce.
All right, that works.
9 documents, but only 8 agenda items.
So, there you go.
There you are.
Anything else?
There's your paper clip.
No, I have nothing else.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn at 6:14, I guess.